50 long years after Bangladesh broke away from Pakistan to become an independent nation, it is gifting to itself a bridge over the river Padma that may be a small step for mankind, but is a giant leap for Bangladesh. For 2 hours on Saturday morning on the 25th of June, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, accompanied by her daughter Saima Wajid, led the ceremonies, pressing a button to formally inaugurate the Padma Bridge and then driving over it in her carcade, while helicopters flew overhead carrying the Bangladesh national flag and a flag of her father, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. It was a big moment in the heartbeat of a nation led by Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, who refused to be deterred by the World Bank's refusal to lend money to build the bridge in 2012, which had cited evidence of massive corruption. Lovingly called a bridge of pride today by Bangladeshis, the Padma Setu will connect not just the capital Dhaka with the southwestern part of Bangladesh, as many as 21 districts, thereby cutting down travel time by several hours. It is also expected to become a key link in the Trans-Asian National Highway that links India to Myanmar and onwards to Thailand. What's in a river, you might say, but this is the Podda River, a magnificent piece of water which connects with the Ganga. Where the Ganga ends in India and flows into Bangladesh, it's called the Podda. This is a marvelous piece of infrastructure, something to be proud of in Bangladesh's 50th year of independence, and certainly a model for the region. The two-level steel truss bridge, over 6.15 kilometers long, has 42 concrete and steel pillars. It carries a 4-lane highway on the upper level and a railway track on the lower level. It cost $3.6 billion to build. Ordinary people donated money to an improvised fund. A Chinese company won the contract and work began 6 years ago. The Daily Star newspaper on the 25th of June described the moment as Sheikh Hasina's finest hour. Certainly, the bridge is a role model for the infrastructure-strapped region. Analysts say it will help lift Bangladesh's GDP by at least 1.5 to 2%, keeping it on course to exit from least developed country status by 2026. But Prime Minister Hasina has done more than just keep faith with one bridge. She realized that she can leverage infrastructure not just to open the door to enhanced prosperity at home and permanently erase the label of being a bottomless basket that US Secretary of State Henry Kissinger once so unkindly used for Bangladesh after its liberation war in 1971 when it split from Pakistan, but use it also as a diplomatic tool to reach out to the world's most prosperous nations, including India and China. So as this country of 170 million people rises like a phoenix, 50 years after its independence, the world is flocking to Bangladesh's door. The Rupur nuclear power plant is being built by the Russians. The Maitri thermal project is a 50-50 joint venture with India's NTPC. The Dhaka metro and its airport is being built with considerable aid from Japan. A Chinese company is constructing the tunnel under the Karnapuli River in Chittagong. Another Chinese company is partially building the Paira port, while a Belgian company is dredging the 75-kilometer-long channel at Paira. It's a long cry from the time in 1971 when Bangladesh was synonymous with poverty, when people died from hunger and maternal and infant mortality was high. Today, 50 years on, Bangladesh's health indicators are amongst the best in South Asia. You don't really see poor, emaciated people in Dhaka, nor in smaller towns like Cox's Bazar. Even during COVID, Bangladesh stabilized itself fairly quickly. In 2021, when India reeled under the second COVID wave and its GDP plummeted to minus 6.6%, Bangladesh maintained a respectable plus 3.5% GDP growth.
Well, I think we have come a very long way. I think we have defied skeptics in many, many ways, especially the socio-economic sector, where people effectively wrote off Bangladesh. This may not even be viable. But 50 years on, I think we are not just viable, we are kind of a role model in managing such huge challenges. The land-man ratio in Bangladesh doesn't make any scientific sense. But still, we feed ourselves. We are a leading exporter of textiles in the world. We're now number 2 in the world. Our economy is holding steady in spite of the challenges that are coming on every day. I mean, with the Rohingyas and then the pandemic and now the Ukraine war. All this is affecting us, but still we are holding on.
Certainly, Sheikh Hasina can take the credit for the rapid economic growth of her country, considering she's been Prime Minister since 2009 and is likely to win an unprecedented 5th term when elections are held in Bangladesh in late 2023. One key reason is that Bangladesh's minority population, the Hindu community, keeps faith in her and her Awami League party. Not only because the Awami League worked hand in glove with India during the Liberation War, but also because Sheikh Hasina does not hesitate to crack down on elements who dare disturb the communal harmony. At the 9th century Dhakeshwari temple in Dhaka, the muezzin calls for afternoon prayers in the mosque nearby. A handful of policemen stand around to prevent any recurrence of the attack on a Durga Puja pandal in Komila town, far away from Dhaka. A group of Hindus whose forefathers were resettled in Dhaka by the British Raj from far away Kanpur talked to me about Sheikh Hasina and the current situation in Bangladesh.
आपका इंडिया का आदमी है, हम लोग का कानपुरिया है, कानपुर के हम लोग का इतिहास के जगह है, बाप दादा वहीं था। हम लोग यहाँ बांग्लादेश हम लोग ब्रिटिश सरकार लाके हम लोग का स्थान दिया, मनुष्य का सेवा करने के लिए, आदमी लोग का सेवा करने के लिए हम लोग बहुत ब्रिटिश क्या रहते में हम लोग हैं।
हम लोग ब्रिटिश अमल का है।
सब हम लोग
सब दिन
काम करते हैं। आप लोग का ये गंदगी हम लोग हटाते हैं, दूर करते हैं। अभी भी हम लोग का वही हम लोग का पैसा तो सरकार हम लोग को तनख्वाह देता है। हम लोग यहाँ का सेवा करते, जनता का सेवा करके हम लोग।
तो कैसे हालात है इधर के?
हम लोग का हालात अच्छे ही है यहाँ का। हम लोग का सरकार भी हम लोग को बहुत चाहता है।
क्या आपके प्रधानमंत्री का क्या नाम है?
हमारा प्रधानमंत्री शेख हसीना।
अच्छा, कैसी है वो
बहुत अच्छी है, अल्लाह उसको बचा कर रखे।
नहीं तो आप तो इसीलिए बोल रहे हैं कि शेख हसीना अच्छी है क्योंकि आप इधर रहते हैं, तो लेकिन असलियत में
उसका बाप भी हम लोग का चाहता था, उसका बेटी भी हम लोग को चाहेगा, वही रकम उनके लिए हम लोग का कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं।
उसके लिए तो हम लोग हिंदी इंसान सभी को बांग्लादेश में है रहे के अच्छा से जो भी सकते हैं बहुत अच्छा से हम लोग जी के आ रहे हैं सब कोई।
हिंदू हो?
हाँ, सनातन धर्म
हम लोग हिंदू हैं, हर कोई नहीं।
The temple priest Nikhil Chakravarti pointed out that he grew up here in Bangladesh just like his father and his grandfather before him.
मेरे फादर बांग्लादेशी, मेरे माँ बांग्लादेशी, आप बांग्लादेशी।
कभी आपको
इंडिया से नहीं जाएगा।
Monendra Kumar Nath, a leader of the Hindu community in Dhaka, was more eloquent. We will never leave Bangladesh, he says, even though the Hindu community certainly has problems like forced conversions and forced land grab, which the Sheikh Hasina government is seriously trying to resolve. We want justice, he says to me. We want equal status with the Muslims who live here, and we are determined to live here.
I am living here due to it is my motherland. I must stay here until my death. Not only my also our community leaders all are thinking that way for motherland.
So, how big is the Hindu community in Bangladesh? And do you feel safe here?
Yeah, we are staying here, but there is so many problems also. We are day by day we are trying to solve the problems. We negotiated the problems with the government. Sheikh Hasina government is also trying to solve our problems.
Shamsher Chaudhary, the former Foreign Secretary, pointed out that Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina maintains tight control over communal disturbances in Bangladesh, even though the government refused to react to the insulting comments made against the Holy Prophet by two former spokespersons of the ruling BJP a few days ago.
She is the most secular, non-communal leader in our part of the world. And I was just talking to one of the Indian newspapers the other day. We were expecting demonstration against what happened in Delhi recently. The name of
The Nupur Sharma
Nupur
fiasco.
Sharma affair.
So you've heard of her here in Bangladesh?
Yeah, of course, we've heard of her. But yesterday there were protests in the mosques and all that. But unlike many other countries, the government has not reacted.
But Mr. Chaudhary went on to add that while the government took quick action against the vandalism at the Durga Puja temple last year in Kumilla and elsewhere, the fact remains that when incidents of Muslim bashing or worse, insulting comments against the Holy Prophet take place in neighboring India, the people of Bangladesh get badly affected.
Last year after Durga Puja, when number of mosques, temples were attacked in Bangladesh, Kumilla and Rampur and all that, our Prime Minister made a very strong statement. This is not the character of Bangladesh. We have to keep that in mind. We don't do that, and we take strong actions against anybody who's involved in this. But towards the end of her statement, she said that I hope India will also look at itself, that what happens there may have a spillover effect here. So
You think it does?
it definitely does. It rankles the public mind. It is a Muslim majority society. We believe in secularism and non-communalism. The fact is we have, 80+% of our population are Muslims. So when the Prophet gets insulted or something, it is not unusual for some reaction among the general population in Bangladesh, especially on Fridays after the mosques, where the imams actually call the shots.
Certainly, as the inauguration of the Padma Bridge in Dhaka demonstrated, Sheikh Hasina has her finger fully on the pulse of Bangladesh. And as the daughter of Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, whose 100th birth anniversary is being celebrated this year alongside the 50th anniversary of Bangladesh's independence, and whose photos are plastered everywhere across the country, Prime Minister Hasina makes it well known that she is fully in command. But there is one place in the country where her writ doesn't fully run, and that is in the Rohingya camps in Cox's Bazar in the southern tip of the country. The town itself is an extension of the longest sandy beach in the world, a pristine stretch of land untouched by modern-day tourist traps. Boys play football on the edge of the Bay of Bengal. Fishermen cast their nets, standing patiently in the sea for hours, even if the catch doesn't reveal very much. And pulled up on the beach are the sampans, the crescent moon-shaped boats that are common to this part of the region. The Bangladeshis use them to negotiate the deep waters for fresh catch. The Rohingya to cross the Naf River that separates the Rakhine region from Bangladesh, escaping the Myanmarese junta.
So the violence was started, and immediately the violence was spread here and there. The Burmese military junta killing indiscriminately to the Rohingya peoples and burning down our houses. The whole villages, many villages, we are burned down by the military junta indiscriminately. So all religious masjid, schools and other things are also burned down, and many women we are raped.
As many as 700,000 Rohingya fled their country in 2017 when the Myanmarese military cracked down. Today, the number in the Kutupalong camp is closer to 1 million. The rest have clearly been born here. Certainly, it's a stressful situation for Bangladesh. How long can they keep them here, feed them, clothe them. Although the international community, including UN agencies, are now playing their part in their rehabilitation. Soon, though, the camp at Kutupalong has been left behind. Ahead are the white sandy beaches of Cox's Bazar. This is Cox's Bazar, a beautiful piece of sandy beach over 125 kilometers long as far as the eye can see, right at the edge of Bangladesh, in fact at the edge of South Asia. And as you stand here, you wonder, what is this idea of South Asia that connects or is supposed to connect the mountains of the Hindu Kush that straddle Afghanistan, where the Taliban rule, to the warm waters of the Bay of Bengal that lap Bangladesh as well as parts of India. And as Bangladesh celebrates 50 years of its independence, a self-confident, self-assertive country, no longer the basket case that it once was only a few years ago, where images of grinding poverty splashed across your screen. You don't see that kind of Bangladesh today. But you wonder if Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, the head of this newly self-confident nation, will be able to reconnect the multicultural, multi-ethnic and multi-religious streams that lie somewhere broken right across this region, from Afghanistan to Bangladesh via Pakistan, India, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka and the Maldives. And whether Prime Minister Hasina, along with the other leaders of the neighborhood, can help heal this region together. This is Jyoti Malhotra for ThePrint in Cox's Bazar, Bangladesh.